Here's how to replace the thermistor, the evaporator thermistor on a Rheem hybrid water heater. This is the generation 4. There might be similar on other ones. The video they send you isn't very helpful because all it says is take off this top lid, which is easy, some screws and it just pops off. But then the sensor is down in there, and yeah, you can't, there's no space to get your hands in and unclip and reclip and all that stuff. So I called the tech support and they said, yeah, you got to get this other bit off, this metal casing, which they failed to mention in their video. And to get this off, you have to take this off. It's just 2 screws. There's a little cover that sits on it. It's easy to pull off. And you pull this off. And then the problem is this is in the way. So the guy said, yeah, you just got to maneuver it. You have to maneuver this. And if you see, mine's in a tight little closet, so there's screws all the way around and all the way to the back, and the case kind of lifts up as you're going, so it's difficult to pull them out. But so just don't worry about it, just wiggle and move everything. So now we're going to try and manipulate this, is what he said. I said manhandle. He was like manipulate. There's foam. There's another piece of foam here. Make a note of where all the foam is, but getting the foam out seems important because you've got to move this thing forward so it can come over this fan shroud. Anyway, we're going to give that a go and see what happens. So here we've taken out the foam that sits along the back. You can see it sitting there. It's a bit of a squeeze to get it out. But when you do that, this whole case lifts up and you can get it past the fan and get access here. So that's like the key part, is you have to get the foam out of there to get enough space to get the evaporator sensor. And here we have advanced positioning. That's what old or cheap Crocs from Dollar General are for, whatever those are, holding this thing up. So now we can get to the sensor around there, and just FYI, if you want to get to the caps or anything like that, it looks like this is the way to do it. But they don't tell you that. Anyway, there you go. So I'm going to replace the evap sensor in there and then put everything back. Okay, now here we can see, this is where we are, around the corner. We've got the cover up. You can see the evaporator sensor. I've uncovered it. It had that pipe protector, the foam, and then it also had the sticky paste. So there's the sensor right there. We're going to get it off and replace it by unclipping this, and then pulling it off. It's got its own little clip, and putting the new one in. Okay, now here we are testing this is the old one I pulled off, and there's the new one. If you need the part number, they should give it to you for free on the 10-year warranty. AP15095 is the evaporator thermistor. So hopefully this thing is actually broken, otherwise I did all that for nothing. The guy on the phone seemed very sure about it, wouldn't even let me get a word in edgeways. Okay, what have we got there? 0.8 kilo ohms. That seems like a reasonable reading to me. Goodness. Alright, so let's try the new one. $12 kilo ohms. Well, guess we'll just have to see, because it was just reading high. It was reading 200 and something degrees instead of at the evaporator. It should be, you know, like closer to freezing kind of. So here's the old one again. 0.8, 1.2. Oh well, so that's not a clear negative answer, but it's .8 to 13. Oh, that's a massive difference. Okay, so looks like that's what it is. Here we go, put it in. Okay, so we've got the evap sensor back in, the new one, and we've got this cover back on with some screws in place. Now I'm putting back the insulation, which is actually very important. It's not just energy efficient, well it is. So it seems like the way to do it is put in the big pieces, that bottom piece, and then I'm going to put in that piece. And the reason is, this glove's just to protect the wires. The reason is you don't want any air getting around the evaporator, the sides, because it's open there. So these big insulations go sort of close to it, and then you've got a piece like this on each side which has to completely seal it off. So otherwise you'll have the air coming in the top here and going around the side, not going over here, which obviously messes the whole thing up because here's the fan blowing outwards. So you've got to make sure that it's completely sealed at the side so air can't get around it. Then it won't work very well. And it looks like the way to do that is put the big pieces in first, because they go almost all the way, and then you squeeze this in down to make sure. And I've got, you know, a piece of wood or something to push it down in there. Careful you don't hit electrical wires and whatnot. Alright, so here we are. That evaporator sensor did fix it, and I'll show you how. Just some extras. I didn't manage to get all the screws in. They're not easy to get in, but it's not like it's going anywhere, so it'll be alright. Put this on because this thing's outside and there could be some rats. Washed out the filter. It's real easy, just spray it with a hose and all the dirt comes out. And now this is how you check if it actually did work. Where was it? Service, and then you go no, not that. Status, sensors, that's it. Go sensors, and then you can see evaporator temperature is the one you want. When had the broken one, and this thing was saying 200, which is obviously bad because the evaporator is supposed to be cool, and then the discharge is the hot one. So now it's not running, but the temperature is about 86. So before that was 200, so it is the correct repair. And I ran it, and then cold air came out of here. So thank goodness. So what did we learn? Let's recap real quick. Take the top off, it just screws all around, and then 4 on top. So it's 5 around, 4 on top. And then this one, I don't know how many it is, but it's all these ones around. And then with this off, oh yeah, and this front cover off, and 2 screws, one there. And then this pops out. I'm not 100% sure you need to do that, but better safe than sorry. So when you've got this lid off, and these screws out, and this off, then you can lift this casing, this just a round piece. First, pull the insulation that goes around the back out. There's 2 semicircles, and watch how they're going because they've got cutouts for the compressor and some other tubes here. So there's 2 big semicircles on top of each other, and then 2 little rods that go down and seal the gaps around the sides. So you want all of that out so that this casing, this top middle bit, can lift up, and lifts up here, and then you can get to the evaporator sensor at the side and put it in, and then basically put everything back, and it works. And this is because Rheem has a 10-year tank and parts, no labor. So anyway, looks like it's working again. Good luck.